And we're podcasting. Bloop.
Yes, we are. Like it or not.
I do like it.
That's what I want to hear.
Just like I like the intro music.
Ooh, you too, huh?
I like talking to a beat.
And I like talking about the fleet.
And we're talking about the fleet while we're walking down the street. And we're cooking up some beef.
And taste the treats.
And player updates and news and random ass crap all over the day.
All over the place.
Damn, that started off strong.
Hold on to your seats.
Face.
That
Started
too.
off strong and then we lost it.
Kind of, we're not a second half team.
No, we.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode 12. If you can't tell by now, we are masters at this.
We are. We got soon to be a dozen under our belt, and it shows.
That's true. We are not getting complacent. We are not getting frivolous. We are coming to you every single week with top-notch quality fleet content.
Yes, I mean, if you want to, podcast the podcasts, there's 12 of them you can listen to now.
That's true. We're going to get to that a little bit later. There is a podcast update. Well, you know what? Let's just start it off. Start it off with the podcastosphere.
I like your spontaneity as long as I don't hit the microphone.
Well, you've already hit the microphone, Smith, and
it deserved it.
It did.
So it's just staring back at me like it's got a problem.
It was taunting you. The microphone was taunting you.
It was taunting. That's a 15-yard penalty.
So every team in the AAF now, Smith, every single team except for the hot shots out there in Arizona,
come on,
has themselves at least one podcast.
Hey, you know what? Picking up the numbers.
Couple new players in the field. I'm going to talk about the Wild Stallions of, I think they're for the Iron.
Wild Stallion, yeah, that's ironish.
No, so Wild Stallions, spelled the same way that Bill and Ted spelled their band, Wild
with the
Stallions,
Y,
with the Y, and the yins.
I hope I hope they dress up like Bill and Ted.
Yeah, no, I've actually given them a listen. I'm a fan. I like them. They really play up the whole Bill and Ted element.
Do they podcast out of a telephone booth?
No, they should though. They need to ramp it up in the next episode, guys.
Rookie
from the Wild Stallions. You need to be podcasting from a telephone booth.
Yes, without a doubt, it needs to be that.
No, good stuff.
Cool.
I'm a fan. Atlanta out there, they have themselves a new podcast as well called. I do like this name quite a bit. The Crown Loyal.
Oh, Loyal with cheese.
Yeah, so the Crown Loyal as opposed to Crown Royale. Right? So very, very, very clever.
Do they come packaged in a handy carrying sack like Crown Royal?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, you know what? I like it.
You are a fan of handy sacks.
I am. You silly man.
And then, of course, we have another fleet podcast on the horizon.
Wait a
here.
minute.
It's
another one?
Another one.
Oh,
Another one.
my
These
goodness.
are local guys.
Like rabbits.
Yeah. The Brig. I like them.
The Brig.
Yep. They talk about how they don't like the team that used to be here. And
hey, you know what? I like them already then.
Yeah. I agree with that sentiment, although not everybody does. Well, we'll just move right along.
Right on.
And then the Iron. Crap, I'm forgetting about the Iron, but I don't think they have an episode out yet, but they have announced that they're coming out soon, and I forget the name of the Irons podcast.
Seem to be doing a lot of prep work.
Yeah, they're prepping. They want to make sure they come out strong, and their name is...
They want to be as solid as iron?
Where are they?
I don't know.
The Iron Legion.
Iron Legion.
The Iron Legion.
I got to think about that one.
It's a Legion of Iron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Welcome to the club. Everybody but the Hot Shots is now...
What is it with the hot shots, man?
I don't know, man. They're last in all the social. They're last in
dude.
I don't know what's going on with the hot
I know
shots.
there's people in Arizona.
Sure. Tempe is a great sports town. You got spring training, baseball spring training out there. Maybe that's it. Maybe Tempe's so into the baseball spring training.
It's possible because next month is pitchers catchers arrive.
Yeah, they report and maybe I don't know. Maybe the market isn't what they thought it would be.
Possible. I don't know.
I mean, the evidence is strong. You don't have a podcast.
Yep. I mean, that's probably one of the number one indicators.
I mean, look at us. We got like 1 billion.
Yeah. And look at us. We're gonna win the championship.
Yeah. Now, speaking of listenership and the fleet in general, this is something I've noticed. I feel like if we're gonna rank the teams as far as fandom outside of their initial hometown market.
So something along the lines of like fandom coverage?
Yeah, coverage globally.
Oh.
I think the fleet is probably number one. And I think it's because of the Navy element.
Probably.
But looking at our podcast stats, we've got listeners in Germany. What's up, listeners in Germany? A bunch. Yeah, a good amount. We got a bunch in Brazil. Oh. Believe it or not.
I don't speak Portuguese. So
Neither do I, but I'm glad they're listening. Australia, of all places.
G'day, mate.
I'm just going to start naming random countries and see if Smithy will do an accent. This one will be tough. We have listeners in the Netherlands. What's that accent?
Fritas, please.
Yeah, that's it. Nailed it. Spain.
Oh, another hola.
See, I was gonna go for like something with a TH, so you could do that Spanish.
Oh,
Barcelona. You know what I mean?
Barcelona.
No, but they TH the S's in Spain.
TH the S's.
Yeah, it's Barcelona.
So it'd be. So it wouldn't be Smithy. It'd be Chiffy.
Not all S's. Like an S when it appears in the middle of a word.
See, that's just silliness.
They hit it with the.
That's why that Armada sunk back in the 1500s.
Oh, Armada jokes.
They lost their fleet. No pun intended.
This is a really good episode so far.
Oh man, for the 12th episode, I'm telling you, the 11 previous ones are definitely below this one.
So there was some big news around the AAF. The biggest news I'd say this week, Smithy, was that the game times were finally announced.
And boy, did that get a lot of traction.
Yeah, it sure did. And not everybody is happy about these game times. I'm going to just talk about the game times for the fleet right now. It's pretty easy to remember because if you're going to a fleet game.
Right. Where though? In San Diego or somewhere else?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Well, if you're trying to watch, I'm assuming that you're not traveling to all the games because
Gotcha.
obviously with time zones can be different. But no matter where you are, the fleet game starts at 5 p.m. except for when we play Arizona, and then the fleet game starts at 1.
I think that's probably because Arizona has no fans.
Poor Arizona.
Oh, come on, guys, step it up.
So I did put out a poll to see how many people were in support of the 5 o'clock start time and how many people were not.
Oh, what are the results, sir?
Now, there were 3 options. Hate it, love it, don't care EA football.
Oh.
So with 89% of the votes is split almost down the middle between love it and don't care EA football.
No, okay.
And with 11% of people saying hate the 5 o'clock times.
Okay, yeah,
Now, I can see that. I think my girlfriend will fall into the hate it category.
Really? Why is that?
A little concerned about this on the Sunday 5 p.m. start times.
She go to bed like at 6 or something?
She's a sleepy time lady.
Oh,
she likes to hit the bed. I'd say it's rare the day that we're not in bed by 8 o'clock.
Holy smoky.
Yeah, and that's just not because we're new fiancés. You know what I'm saying? It's
and you're not 88 years old.
It's because we're sleepy. And now I typically will tinker and start yelling at people on Twitter from the hours of 8 to midnight.
Yeah, that's usually when you tend to get into the Twitter fights.
Yeah, that's when I get grumpy on Twitter.
Yep.
And
you're tired, because you're sleepy.
I'm sleepy.
It's like a toddler.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's going to be not well received, and I don't think she knows this news yet, and she will listen to this tomorrow morning. So, babe, I'm sorry about those 5 p.m. start times, but our Sundays are going to get a little late.
A little late.
But it shouldn't be too bad, because if
the games are fast.
If they're really 2.5 hours, like they're saying, then we're out of there at 7:30.
Boom, bomb, beam.
Home by 8.
Yep. That's reasonable.
We've reached our 8:30 bedtime. At 8:30.
It falls in the
not too bad.
The range.
Nice day of tailgating. What I do like is it gives us more lead time of tailgating leading up to the games.
That's true. We can get there like at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I think we should.
I think so too. So we'll do a breakfast tailgate,
A breakfast tailgate.
then a brunch tailgate, and then a dinner tailgate.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great plan. Just all day long tailgating. I did reach out to the fleet to find out when specifically the doors will be opening, the gates will be opening to the parking lot, and they can't tell me.
Jeez.
They don't know yet. They I guess
They are so like playing these things close to the vest.
Man, the information continues to be very, very, very slowly leaked
It's like
out.
a morphine drip.
Yeah. So now that being said, if you're following the social channels, you'll see player updates, you'll see little edits and things along those lines. But still, I would say, Smith, just by and large, there's still a lot of unknowns.
There is.
Heading in.
At this late in the, no pun intended, game.
Yeah. We don't know how much parking is going to be.
Nope.
We don't know when we can get into the stadium.
Nothing. I mean, we can drive by and look at it at any time we want.
Yeah. So there's some unknowns. Hopefully we will do our best to keep scouring the internet and collecting the unknowns and consolidating them into this podcast and then barfing them out at you like we do.
There's only 3 weeks before the season starts.
Only
I hope
3
this
weeks.
stuff comes up soon.
Yeah, guys, less than the shortest month of the year. It's what, 27 days left? 26 days?
20,
Yeah, 28 days in February. So less than the shortest month of a year left until we are not kicking off.
Yeah, so think about that.
Now, Jeremy Staley of our beloved Facebook group asks, speaking of non-kickoffs, because we don't kick off in the AAF.
Yeah,
But this is your first episode. There's no kickoffs.
No.
Kickoffs. There's no kickoffs, right? So what should we call the start of the game?
I think we should call them the give-ems.
The give-ems?
Yeah. Whoever wins the coin toss, you give them the ball.
Give them. All right. I think I'm on board with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Simple. Let's do the point.
The give-ems. All right. Yeah.
I just made that up.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
on the
thank you.
spot, man.
Yeah, thank
you are an improv genius.
You know what? I'll be here all night. Try the veal.
So the first preseason game, Smith, there is some preseason games going on.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Is there a schedule for that?
Yeah. Occurs on the January 27th. There's joint practices coming up very shortly.
Okay.
And then there's actually going to be some game scrimmages closed off to the media.
Oh.
From what I understand, they're going to be not only testing the football against each other like a preseason game, but they'll be testing their tech and things along those lines, trying to iron out the final bugs and so forth. So the kinks and bugs during a kind of a live game day situation. So
that's cool. I mean, it'd be great if we could actually see some of that.
That would be very great, but in true AAF fashion, we will not be able to get to see it. Now, from what I understand is if you're in San Antonio right now, it isn't just open to the media. Practices are actually open to the public.
Oh.
But you have to be in San Antonio, so that doesn't help us.
You know what? We could probably get like a camera with a really, really long cord. No?
No.
Okay. I just made that up too.
Yeah, that was apparent.
Sorry.
I'm getting sleepy.
You know what? You look sleepy. You had a long day.
I don't know I did have a long day today,
Yeah,
Smith.
Superstar over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio today. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's just international space radio.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
With Howard Bender and Jim Bowden, they're the East Coast Drive Time show.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't on the show.
Smith was excluded because they did ask us to taper it down to one person because there's two hosts of that show and they didn't want two people on the phone. But they did promise to get Smithy on in the future.
Oh, yeah.
If you have the SiriusXM app, you can go to Fantasy Alarm and you can listen to the show. I'm at the very last segment. There's a good 15 minutes of me talking AAF football with two of the best in the biz over at Fantasy Alarm, Jim Bowden and Howard Bender.
I can't complain. They gave me a couple shout outs.
We did make sure we talked about Smith on the air. But we talked about...
While I was working away at work today.
Now, what's exciting, though, what came from this is that we're going to be working with Howard Bender and the Fantasy Alarm show to do the first AAF season-long fantasy league.
Nice.
Now, we don't know what formats are going to be available to us when the app does drop, which is still not happening.
Which is kind of scary because I looked on their website, the AAF's website today.
Yeah.
They're still hiring engineers and everything for this app. I'm like, guys,
yeah, a little late in the game. Boy. So to be fair, one of the things we talked about Jeff with early is that I think they're expecting some things to not go right in this season.
True.
So they may be rolling out features throughout the season. I don't know if we can expect to have the full ecosystem in place on day one.
So what you're saying is we should probably temper our expectations?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps. And so that enter Fantasy Alarm season long. Okay. Because we know there's going to be prop betting within the AAF.
Oh, totally.
We know there's going to be maybe a daily style format. I think if DraftKings and FanDuel were smart, they would get on board and come out with a format right away because people want to do the daily fantasy that they're used to. Should be straightforward. We know stats are going to be coming out of the game. Yep. We know they're going to be fed somewhere. Just hook in and start a daily game. Yep. Do it. Season long is a totally different story. True. So what we're going to do with Fantasy Alarm is we're going to create basically our own format, 8 teams. We're working out the details this week. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to post on the Fantasy Alarm Show. We're going to post on our Twitter. We'll update every week here. And then we're also going to be going back on to the Fantasy Alarm Show to update throughout the season how we're doing in that particular league.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So that's pretty big. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty awesome.
If you told me that we were going to be working with SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio when we started doing this podcast, I would have probably called you a dirty liar.
You know what? Upset. And I wouldn't have blamed you, though. I would still be upset, but I wouldn't blame you.
Smith doesn't like it when I call him names. You know, in our old podcast before this, there used to be a moment in time in almost every episode when I would just randomly get real mean, and I would just call it being mean to Smithy.
Being mean to Smithy.
It was always towards the end when I got tired.
I still wear those scars.
I didn't mean to do it, Smith. You know,
just a grumpy toddler.
I'm just a
grumpy, tired toddler.
Temperamental. You know? So that'll be cool. Make sure you take a look out for that. And this is actually number 2 on our news. We've been skipping around the news quite a bit, but the news is basically becoming our show today.
The good news is they can't see that.
That's true. They didn't. I didn't have to say that out loud, but I did. But guys, roster updates.
Roster updates.
I don't know that I can get on board with the sounder effect for this roster update.
Really?
No, I can. Roster updates. Oh, but it's a heartbreaking roster update section this week.
I am sad.
I am really, really sad. I mean, well, let's just read them off.
Shocking to say.
So, offensive guard Will Parakak, he retired. Tyler King was signed, and then wide receiver Isaiah Burst, which is a surprise. He was waived, but I believe he was also injured. Now he's the ex-Charger,
right?
And people were looking forward to seeing him
for sure
come back and play. Then Wayne Capers Jr., who I heard really good things about, was also waived, but he also says waived/injured.
Huh. Okay,
again, another wide receiver.
Right.
And then we have another offensive lineman here. Matt Cohen was waived. Another offensive lineman who I just noted was signed was then promptly therefore waived.
It's like, welcome,
Tyler King.
Goodbye.
Honest to God, I think he was there for less than a day. I think he showed up and they turned him right around and sent him home.
Yeah, that's weird.
So Tyler King, sorry about that, man, but maybe you got to have a good lunch.
I don't know. It's just,
I mean,
I don't want to speculate.
Yeah, I don't know. But now the last 2 names on this list.
These are the ones that hurt the most and cut the deepest.
And they were super surprising, Smith. Like, I just did not see these coming at all.
I don't get it. But again, it's like pulling teeth trying to get information out of the league.
Yeah, so our guys, Daquan Hampton, who was our first guest.
Yes.
And Darius Rogers, who was our second guest.
Yeah.
Both waived in the first 3 days of camp.
I don't get it. I mean, the league was promoting them.
Yeah, they were hyping these guys a lot. And they were great guys, super enthusiastic, very talented.
Down to earth.
we were emotionally invested into Quan and Darius.
Yeah, I was looking forward to high-fiving them when they come out of the tunnel during the first game. And
me too, man. I really was. I was like, I'm so sad about this.
Yeah, I guess
it's kind of on us for getting so emotionally attached to people on the team, way before cutdowns. But
I think that
all indications were that these guys were.
It's not like they suck.
No,
because they're good.
Right, they're really good.
Yeah.
Darius Rogers, that highlight reel. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. The guy's hands are insane.
Well, what I'm hoping is maybe there's something else going on. As far as opportunities go.
I hope so. And it's not, look, I would say it's rare that someone cut that early in camp is going to get an invite back.
Right.
But you never know for sure. They might.
No, that's true.
And I certainly wish them the best, and I hope that they do. Even if they land somewhere else that isn't the Fleet.
Right.
Except for maybe the Commanders.
Good point.
Anywhere but the Commanders, I would still be rooting for these guys, and I hope they land somewhere. I hope they come back. Honestly,
too, man. You know what? Just from talking to them on a personal level, and then just knowing what they're capable of on the field, I'm super bummed. And I'm not saying that just to say it or
no. When I read this list, I was like, "Oh, sweet, an update," and my heart sank.
Yeah, I mean,
into my stomach, and I was like, "Oh my God, what? You got to be kidding me right now!"
I mean, it would make more sense if it was like injury related.
Yeah.
So just to
no real explanation. It is what it is, and the only thing I can think is that they immediately then signed on the same day 3 additional wide receivers, Brian Brown, Shea Fields, and Francis Owusu. That name does sound familiar to me. I remember him from preseason on the Dolphins. So I think he's got some talent behind him.
Right.
We'll see how that pans out. The other big change, and it's not so much of a waiver, but it is roster, is that they moved Cameron Kelly.
That's right.
From free safety, who was tearing up the highlight reel, by the way. He was continuously...
Pick sixes and everything.
Pick sixes left and right. And so I guess the coaches got tired of him intercepting our quarterbacks, and they said, how about we just have our quarterbacks intentionally throw to you? So they moved Cam Kelly over to wide receiver.
But what about opposing quarterbacks?
Yeah, right? I know, right? That's what I'm saying. So anyway, Cam is known in San Diego pretty well for being a really aggressive defensive player. Right. So it was kind of a shock to see him move.
Would it be fair to say along the lines of a Rodney Harrison player?
Yes, or like an Earl Thomas type, just a super high motor guy.
Gotcha.
So the switch over to receiver was a bit of a surprise. Yeah. People were LOLing in the Facebook group, but yeah.
Well, think about it. If he's a high motor guy, imagine him running routes. Like, I can't cover him.
Yeah. So now one of the knocks on Cam again has been his 40 time. So I don't know if that plays better as a wide receiver or a free safety, but
true.
Regardless, he's made the move, and every day since he's made the move. First highlight on the press release is another Cam Cameron. Okay. So literally every single day he's doing and impressing as a wide receiver now.
Right.
So I guess it was a good move.
Not to be a Debbie Downer.
Yep.
I want to see how he goes or how he does against an opposing team. That'll be the proof in the pudding. That will.
Indeed. That's pretty much the definition of competition.
Absolutely. Pudding.
The pudding. And then, of course, we have a couple other waivers here. Gerard Koff, Brendan Hester, and then Daniel Marks, a fullback, retired.
Oh, 2 retirees.
Best of luck. Okay. And then another defensive lineman, Dante Wilkins, was picked up on the 14th.
Nice.
So some new defensive linemen. One we skipped over, Demontre Moore.
Oh,
he's got the most NFL experience, I think, now probably of anybody on the team.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, so he's got 6 or 7 years in the NFL, nice. 3 of which were with the Giants, and that's when he amassed most of his stats. which was somewhere in the neighborhood of about 8.5 sacks over the course of 3 years.
Okay.
70 tackles.
Respectable. Especially if he's not a starter, that's pretty respectable.
Not too bad at all. So definitely had some success, and then he went and journeyed on through 3 or 4 other teams.
Okay.
And then I think, landed here.
Nice.
So now that we're done with the roster updates, there's some player spotlights that I want to tackle. Alex Ross, quarterback Alex Ross.
Beautiful beard.
Beautiful beard. We mention him, I think, every week.
You do.
He's
got a nice head of hair on him, too.
He's got a nice head of hair on him. He was the last pick in the... I'm not. My hair is beautiful. But so he was the last pick in the draft.
Yes.
The Fleet put out a cool little vignette with Alex this week. But in the practice highlights, he's been another one of these guys that's in there 2 or 3 times every single day.
Look at that.
And it feels to me, again, we don't know for sure because there isn't a whole lot of information, but it feels to me like he's making a strong bid for the starting spot right now.
You know what? That's fine with me. That's what I want to see. I want to see all the quarterbacks just going all out.
I think so too. And I was watching some of his highlights. He's from Coastal Carolina University. He posted on his Instagram just a ridiculous highlight where he's a scrambler, so he's very mobile.
Right.
He's scrambled, gets his body all twisted around all kinds of different ways, and then makes a crazy cross-body throw for a touchdown.
Oh, wow.
And it was amazing. It was like some of the best elusiveness that I've ever seen in a quarterback in this highlight. So that's definitely encouraging. I think he'll be a really fun player to watch.
That's what we want.
He even looked quicker and faster than Josh Johnson in that highlight, honestly. So speaking of Josh Johnson, we do have an update in that it's not definitive whether or not he'll be coming back yet. We do know that as of right now, it doesn't appear to be a contractual issue.
Uh-oh.
It's actually a physical issue. He's got an ankle thing.
An ankle thing.
Is what I've been told.
I hate ankle things.
So waiting to hear on the ankle status.
Okay.
And I was expecting a Josh Johnson definitive yes or no this week. We did not get it.
No.
Hopefully we'll get it next week.
Okay.
Yep. Donnell Pumphrey Jr. I know he's the guy we've been watching.
Oh, PJ. He
signed with the Eagles a stupid reserve / future contract this week.
So what you're saying is no Donnell coming to San Diego?
No pump for the SD Fleet. SD Fleet will be pump free in 2019.
I see what you did there, you silly.
So Donnell Pumphrey is not coming to the Fleet, unfortunately.
Okay.
As of right now, that's how it is. Now, reserve future contracts are, I guess, fine for people, but what could very well happen is that just means that they're holding him as a right to bring him into training camp next year.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't mean that he's going to be signed. It doesn't mean that he's going to make the team. I hope he does. Great for him.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I guess the fact that he got this is an indicator that they still think highly of him. But I'm bummed because I wanted him to come play for the Fleet. I think it would have been fun to see him play.
It sounds like a move by Philadelphia to prevent him, I guess, going into the free agency world.
Yeah.
And some other team picking up. So that should, I mean, in a way, that's good news for him personally, that the Eagles want to keep him.
Yep, for sure. So congrats to him. Boo for us.
Right.
Didn't work out. It's so close.
So goes, hey, but never know.
Never know. You never know. As of right now, we can be disappointed.
Welcome.
He will always be welcome. That's for sure. I do know. I did looking at the roster. The number 19 is still available.
Oh.
So hey, Donnell, if you're listening, number 19 is available, man. Come on and get it.
Just slip that thing on and come on the field.
Yeah. So another player that I've been keeping an eye on.
You're keeping an eye on a lot of players, Joe.
Now, this guy stood out to me when we went to meet the Fleet.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about him. Didn't know what position he played, other than the fact that he was a pure monster of a man.
Okay.
And I couldn't remember his name, and I was searching for it because I was like, who? That guy's freaking huge. I'm not a petite fella.
No, you're not a dainty guy.
No, I'm 6'7". I'm pushing
Something?
several 300 pounds ish, right? So I'm not a small guy. I'm a big ass dude. And when I shook Jose Duncan's hand,
right,
I swear to God, Smith, it was like I was shaking a baseball mitt.
That's a big hand.
The dude's got an enormous hand. He's listed at 6'3", 250. But if you were to ask me after I met him, I would have said that dude is 10 feet tall, 500 pounds of pure muscle.
Now, is only one of his hands as big as a glove, or both hands just as big?
It's really it's a really rare condition. But so he's been impressive in camp so far. They sent out some clips, and one of them was just a really monster swim move that I put up on Twitter. I don't know if you got a chance to see it or not.
I did.
But he's looking really, really good. And I think if I were to have to pick just based on what I've seen so far.
Right.
And the physical monstrosity that is Jose Duncan Jr., he's my pick for the Fleet's defensive MVP.
Done.
I just don't. He's in the mold of an Aaron Donald or Mack.
Oh, okay.
Khalil Mack.
Okay. Not more like maybe a Dwight Freeney.
No.
Okay.
No, he's like that fast, just not too tall.
Okay.
But just fast, strong defensive end.
Like the original LT, but he was a linebacker.
Yeah.
Fast like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So anyway, he's my pick.
Okay.
For probably a breakout defensive player of the year.
Nice.
Just based on what I've seen so far.
Solid.
Keep an eye on that Jose Duncan Jr.
Yes. No related to Dunkin' Donuts.
No. Also, coincidentally, looking at our signed Fleet flag.
Oh, shit. Right
Jose
there.
Duncan Jr. is easily the largest signature on our signed Fleet flag.
He's with his number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
72.
everything.
Number
Yes.
72. So keep it out for number 72. Big things coming from him. Or he's just going to be cut indiscriminately next week.
For absolutely no reason.
For no reason. God dang.
God.
Darius, Daquan, if you're listening, thanks again, guys, for everything. We wish you the best.
Yeah.
That's
Our
it for
hearts
roster
go out to you.
updates.
Yeah.
That's it for the roster updates.
All right. You know what? Let's get into some fun.
Yeah, let's get into some fun. First, this is fun. We had a contest last week.
We did. And somebody won.
Somebody won. Smithy. Mm-hmm. It was a Twitter account by the name of Fleet Fan Page.
All right.
He is based out of Florida.
Is it never mind.
Okay. Bang up commentary.
No, because I was about to divulge possible personal information.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to do that.
Okay, yeah, good call. He's from a town that doesn't sound like a real town. I'll just say that. But congratulations to Fleet Fan Page. Give them a follow. I think they do have an Instagram account as well. In fact, I know they do. So check that out. We also have an Instagram account. If you want to check us out, you can check it out.
So don't be scared.
But I think here's what we're going to do right now. There was two. He won the signed shirt. Signed Shipyard shirt. There was two parts to this. You could retweet the contest post.
That's right.
And then you were entered into a drawing for just a Fleet t-shirt.
Gotcha.
It is a size extra large.
All right.
If you're not a size extra large, sorry about that.
Wash it in hot water.
Or stretch it out.
Yeah.
So I have here all the names in an envelope.
Oh, it sounds like there's all the names in there.
All the names are in this envelope. Smithy is going to draw the name.
Okay.
And then read the name. And this will be our contest winner.
Here we go. And the winner is Benedict Cumberbutton. No, wait, sorry. Sports Radicals.
Sports Radicals.
That is gnarly. Rad.
Radical Sports. So that would be at Sports Radicals. Congratulations. You won a Fleet shirt.
Yeah.
Send us a DM. I will also post these results on Twitter.
Yep. So we can get that out to you.
We will send you out that shirt. Smith.
Congrats.
We have another contest coming.
We do.
This
we are
week.
just full of contests.
We are. This one's big. This one's fun.
Okay.
We're giving away a 4-pack.
Whoa.
4-pack of season tickets, Smithy. Of what were you going to say?
I was going to say beer.
No. That would we're going to we'll do that too.
Okay.
We're going to drink one each.
Woo.
And then we'll give away the other 4 beers.
I like it.
But before we do that, we're going to give away a 4-pack of season tickets to the Fleet in the Shipyard F-19.
What?
A mere 3 to 4 rows behind us.
Okay. Well, at least they're close.
Yeah. Your view of the rear of Smithy and Van Awesome will be glorious.
Be the second best view in the stadium.
You will be the envy of the world for sure. But yeah, so we're giving away 4 tickets. We will be releasing the details of said contest on Twitter and Instagram. We're going to open it up to Instagram again this week as well. So there'll be 2 contests going on into one pool.
Craziness.
But again, I think it will be another guess the final outcome of the football match.
Oh,
which game do you want it to be? Saints Rams or Patriots Chiefs?
That's a darn good question. Boy, you really put me on the spot, sir. I'm gonna go Chiefs Patriots.
Chiefs Patriots?
Yeah, because I'm expecting a shootout.
Are they both on Sunday this week?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think Chiefs Patriots, then fine. We'll go that way.
Yeah.
Chiefs Pats. We're going to basically it's you guess the score. The person who comes closest to a 0 offset is going to win a 4-pack of season tickets.
Done.
And then we will also have a retweet for a secondary prize to be determined.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
that's
keep
the
an eye.
mystery prize.
Yeah, the mystery prize. And these seats, I should mention, were donated to us, Smith, by a listener.
Well, thank you, anonymous donor.
Yeah. Super freaking cool.
Yeah, that's actually
like that a listener.
Really awesome.
He reached out to us. I think he wanted to remain anonymous. If not, let me know and I'll shout you out next week. But he reached out and said, "Hey man, I just want to feel this. I just want to fill up these seats."
Nice.
He's like, "Let me donate a 4-pack of tickets. And you guys can give them away on the show. I just want to get butts and seats."
That's crazy cool, man.
Yeah, super cool. So I will say this: if you are entering this contest, just be someone who can go to the games.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not local in San Diego, or at least have someone in mind that you can give them to go to the games.
Gift them to, yeah.
I don't want to look back and see these seats empty.
Yes.
That would hurt my heart.
Because that's just silliness. Like, who wouldn't want to go to the game anyway?
So if you have 0% chance of making the games, please don't enter. Or
if you do enter
and you win, then, forfeit, let someone else closer have the tickets, someone who's excited, who's going to actually go to the game.
Totally.
We want that to happen.
Yes.
That's our goal. That's the whole reason why we started this podcast is we just want to fill up that freaking yard with butts.
Yes, we want to just make sure that we have more people in those stands than some other team a little bit north of us.
We want approximately at least 28,000 people there.
28,000. We can do it, people. I mean,
we can do it. It's easy. Do you know how much the lacrosse team had in their home opener?
No.
Almost 12,000 people.
That's ridiculous.
The lacrosse. Did you even know we had a lacrosse team?
No, I don't.
Spiffy
I can't even spell lacrosse.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. San Diego has support. And I think, from the advertising I saw around the Seals, I definitely did see some.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think the Fleet has been hitting it harder with TV commercials and everything. Yes. And so I'm hoping that we can easily outdraw that 28K number.
Something tells me there's probably more football fans than there are lacrosse fans.
There is.
Just in San Diego.
And 12,000 is a great number for an indoor lacrosse team. It is.
And speaking of advertising, I got to share a little quick story with you.
Please do.
So I know how the Fleet and the AF in general is starting to, get a little bit more marketing out. I'm seeing billboards and stuff like that. So last week, there was actually a Fleet billboard in my neighborhood.
Hey-o!
And was there for maybe a total of 24 hours. And it was gone. It was like... My wife
replaced it.
A McDonald's ad.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, my wife took a picture of it. Like, hey, check this out. I'm like, oh, cool. I need to check it out tomorrow when we drive by, because we drive by that every morning on the way to work. And it was gone. I'm like, yeah.
Well, that seems like a lot more money to install and then uninstall.
It was crazy. Like at most, let's just say they put it up on Friday evening the week before. At most, it would have been up 4 days.
That's crazy. I think billboards would have like a minimum lifespan of at least a couple weeks, right? As far as taking them up and down.
That's my guess, because there's other billboards on that same street that don't change, but maybe once every 2 months. So, and I from my own personal anecdotal research, typically I think there's only really one, maybe two companies in probably in entire Southern California that own these billboards.
Well, it's a conundrum.
It is.
I don't know. That's interesting.
I think that leads us into
Mascot Mania. Oh, I ruined it.
you son of a.
Oh, I did. We didn't get the sound effect on check.
No.
Oh, so I should shout out real quick to the Memphis Express. Who podcast, now known as Express and Goal podcast.
What?
Express and Goal.
They changed their name?
They did.
What?
Yeah.
Is this like Prince changing his name to like a symbol?
Well, they started before the Express were actually a thing.
Okay.
They started just knowing that the AAF was coming to town.
Right.
So they called themselves Memphis AAF.
I got you. I got you.
And so now that there's a team name, they wanted to rebrand around the team name.
Gotcha.
And they went with Express and Goal.
Goal. Like GOAL or GULL?
No. G
G-O-A-L?
first one. Yeah.
Your spelling is good, Joe.
Hey, all right. I want to take this moment in time. Listen, we're going on tangents today, but that's just this episode. This episode's random. I hate it when people correct your spelling on Twitter.
Oh, well, good thing we're not on Twitter.
Twitter is an unacceptable place for grammar Nazis.
Oh.
You're firing off angry tweets with your thumbs, your big fat thumbs in my case. And sometimes you don't always get it right.
No.
And to be corrected is infuriating.
Oh, boy. See, here we go.
Everyone
he's
knows
grumpy.
You don't...
Man, really?
You don't correct
really
people's spelling and grammar on Twitter. You just don't do it.
What about Facebook?
No. Well, maybe Facebook, because at least you have a keyboard in that situation. It just drives. It's one of those things that drives me crazy, man.
Just breathe. Think of bacon. Think of beards.
All right. So what were we talking about?
We're actually going to come into, where we're talking about these mysterious billboards disappearing. We're going to, I think this is a good segue, a really good segue.
Into Conspiracy Corner. Conspiracy Corner.
Uh-oh.
It's back. Memphis AAF or Express and Goal mentioned us because I had asked them a question on their Twitter feed about to clarify what Koshe Irby, who at the time I didn't even mean for this to be a thing, but they corrected my spelling on that tweet on their show.
That must have really
infuriated me. But I butchered Koshe Irby's name and I called him Koshi Irving.
Oh boy.
Which was, the thumbs. I'm blaming the thumbs.
Okay.
But basically, he used to work for the WWE.
Oh, okay.
So I asked them to clarify what was his role there. What did he do? Was he Vince McMahon's right-hand man, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They clarified in that he just worked there. And then Koshe also tweeted out to us that it's coincidence and conspiracy are sometimes very close things.
Yes.
So he's denying it. He also did say that he would be willing to come on the show. I think it would be hilarious if he came on this show before the Memphis show, because they have been dying. If you've been listening to the Memphis podcast, they have been dying to get him on the show from day one. They had him yelling in the background of another interview.
Okay.
But that's as close as they got. So now it's my mission in life to have him on this show before Memphis gets him on their show. Just to mess with them. Just because they corrected my grammar on Twitter.
So listeners, tweet to Koshi hey, you really need to go on
Koshe.
What did I say?
Koshi.
See,
but that's what I said initially.
My thumbs got in the way of me saying that. But yeah,
we're gonna make it happen.
Tweet them. Yeah, you need to go on that Fleet podcast there in San Diego.
Yeah, but you should specify which one because there's a billion of them.
Dang it! I keep forgetting that. The Shipyard specifically.
So, but coming around back into Conspiracy Corner. I think we will, once the contracts for the XFL are released.
I can't wait to see these.
That's going to be really telling.
Yes.
Because if the contracts for the AAF are a 3-year deal.
Right.
Year 1 is $75,000. Year 2, I think, is 100, and year 3 is 125.
Okay.
which, if my math doesn't fail me, totals $300,000. If the XFL, so we got the cream of the crop right. In AAF right now. Totally. If the XFL comes along, they're now vying for the next percentage down. Right. Now, the way I understand our contracts is that you are locked in and you can leave to go to the NFL, but I don't think you could leave to go to any other leagues.
Okay.
So XFL may be screwed either way.
Right.
But if XFL comes in with a contract setup that's very similar to the AAF,
right,
then I think that's just another element to this cahootsness.
Another piece of the puzzle.
Another piece of the puzzle that I've been preaching, in that they're in cahoots for an eventual merger. Now, if XFL comes in and says, our contracts are going to be $700,000.
Right.
Now we're going to have some disgruntled players in the AAF. And they'll be like, goodness. Dude, why are we making so much? So that's going to be a really interesting development when they do announce that player contract.
That is true. Which leads me into wondering the mystery behind some of the waves, some of the players that got waived. Mm-hmm. I wonder that maybe the reason why certain players got waived is because
this conspiracy could run deep.
Yeah, that maybe there's something in the XFL waiting for.
You're saying that they're intentionally cutting some of their top guys
to balance out
the pool.
Yes,
that's very interesting.
And if you look at where the cities that the XFL is in,
Los Angeles
and B-Raj are from LA. That's I would not be surprised if they end up on the LA team.
Ugh. Can we just... The LA team... I cannot believe that the XFL put a freaking team in LA.
Because they need another football team in LA.
That is going to crash and burn so hard.
I know. They should put it in Anaheim.
Lord, I can't... That's the worst thing of it.
It would have done better if it was in Sacramento.
Yeah, and literally, seriously, anywhere but LA. Oh my goodness,
craziness!
I'm all worked up.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna get into a Twitter fight soon.
Where's my phone? I'm gonna start misspelling insults at people.
You are the worst person ever.
All right, Smith. We have ourselves a request from our Facebook group.
Wait a second.
You pulling it up?
No.
Okay, I'll just wait. No, come on, Smith.
Just kidding.
All right, so we had a couple questions from our Facebook group, our beloved Facebook group.
We love you guys.
We love you guys.
And ladies.
You're our nucleus.
You're our bread and butter.
So James Matthews, who has been hitting us with the questions all year, every episode.
He is prolific with the questions.
He asks, who's making the playoffs this year?
The Fleet.
The Fleet, yes, obviously. Final win projections for each team and team mascot names for each team.
Ooh, I can answer one of these questions.
Okay. Smith, I'm going to take a crack at the record.
Okay.
And the who's making the playoffs, and then I believe you're going to take a crack at those mascot names.
I will.
All right. Here we go. For the West, I have the Command Dorks, for obvious reasons, coming in dead last at 3-7.
Right. I like it.
Don't like their coach. Think they're going to have a conservative, boring style of play.
Wait, their coach is Mike Riley, right?
Indeed.
Oh, boy. Is it going to be Oregon Ducks Mike Riley coach, or is it going to be Seaward's coach Riley?
Don't think it matters.
Okay.
So Command Dorks coming in at 3-7. I give them the benefit of the doubt that they will get 3 wins, none of which will come against the Fleet.
Nope.
Now I'm putting the Hot Shots at 5-5.
Okay.
They've got a decent QB over there.
They do.
I don't think, from what we've seen, not the best fan support so far, but who knows? That could change. We'll see.
They could very well be 7-3 if they had more fan support.
Yep. Rick Neuheisel, though, I think is a decent coach out there. And that would leave the Stallions coming in at second.
Oh.
At a record of 7-3.
Wow.
Look
at them ponies.
I think BJ Daniels is going to have the effect that Josh Johnson was expected to have here at the Fleet, bringing a lot of NFL experience.
I can see that.
Playing behind Russell Wilson BJ Daniels, I think, is going to be pretty dang good. And they also have a pair of really good running backs over there.
Oh, that's true.
They've got Matt Asiata from the Vikings, who took over for Peterson when he beat his son.
Oh, too soon.
Sorry, too soon. So Asiata came in with along with Jerick McKinnon, who went on to the 49ers. But Asiata came in and did pretty well.
Right.
As a replacement. He wasn't the fastest guy.
No.
But he was efficient and he scored a lot of touchdowns.
He got the job done.
Yeah, he did. He was a good goal line back for sure.
Definitely.
And then they also got Brandon Oliver.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, from the C words, and then I believe he went over to Carolina after that.
Okay.
There, and then they also have the element of the cold. Colder than anywhere else for sure.
That's
so
true.
they're going to be used to it, and no one else going into that place is going to be used to it.
Yeah, they're the furthest north. That wind's going to come down the Wasatch Front, and that may just throw things in a muck for the visiting team.
That's true. So and then coming in at first place at 9-1.
And who may that be?
San Diego Fleet.
Oh,
San Diego Fleet, of course.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Greatest show on surf. Mike Martz. We got a gaggle of a good...
Corio V2.
That's true. We've got Bishop Sankey, a bunch of good running backs, a bunch of good... we don't know who
Ross,
our quarterback...
possibly.
Alex Ross, maybe Mike Bercovici.
Yeah.
We don't know, but they're going to be good.
It's nice to have options.
Totally unbiased opinion there.
None. Let's talk about the East, huh?
The East, I've got the Legends coming in at 2-8.
Oh.
I just think losing the head coach right now they did, I don't trust Mike Vick as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's two big strikes. I mean, it's 3 weeks before season starts.
Yep.
They lose their head coach. And like you said, is it going to be just some... is Mike Vick just going to keep making sure they call audibles or something? I don't know. Scramble right, scramble left.
Yep. I don't know. So not big plans for them. Express 5-5. I think they'll have a decent defense with Singletary over there. Maybe they'll do better than that. That's just kind of where they fell.
Yeah.
They've got Zach Stacy came back. They lost Zach Stacy.
Interesting.
And then he came back.
Well, that's nice.
So they released him. They didn't lose him. They released him.
Okay.
And then he came back.
Oh.
So that's interesting.
Well, like that old saying goes, if you release the ones that you love, they'll come back.
Yeah. So another fun bit. There's one player I forget his name, who's now on the roster as a running back for the Express.
Player
who
X.
is the fiance of Singletary's sons or fiance of Singletary's daughters.
Oh, wow.
And
that'll make dinners interesting.
This guy. He does not look like a running back. Let me just put it that way. He looks like...
Does he more look like a kicker?
No, he looks like the Blockbuster video attendee. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I'm just saying, listen, there's some funny personnel decisions going on in Memphis right now. And I don't know. I'm just not seeing a huge year out of the Express. I think the Apollos with Spurrier coming at 7-3,
proven coaching record in college,
and I think the Iron. I like Luis Perez, and I like believe it or not, I like Richardson to come back in and prove out himself. And I think the Iron have got a sneaky chance to be a really good team this year.
The sleeper team.
Nice. So those are my picks. I think Apollo's Iron go into the playoffs for the East. I think Stallions Fleet go into the playoffs for the West. And we will track those and see if I'm right.
And I think those are solid predictions.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I'm sure there will be some people who disagree with me.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
Why would anybody disagree?
A certain faction out in the podcastosphere will think that I'm crazy. But who knows?
And you know what? I'm sure they'll be absolutely polite about it.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yes. I'm sure. All right, so Smith, you've got some mascot names.
I do.
You've taken a deep look into the mascot predictions of these teams, and you've got some names, don't you?
I do, and after a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, I don't know how many number 2 pencils I went through to come up with this formulae.
I want to hear them.
But I have finalized what I think the mascots for each team, what their name should be. And, and this is actually in no particular order, but I'm saving the best for last.
All right, let's do it.
So first up is the Iron.
The Iron, and I haven't heard these yet, by the way.
Okay, so this is going to be great.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm going with Artie the Anvil.
Artie the Anvil.
Yes.
Sounds very appropriate.
It does. I mean, that's why I went with it.
Yep.
Next is the duly noted Express Package Man.
I love Package Man of the Express. So far, he's my favorite. So far, Package Man is my favorite.
In this, during the games or, little timeout or whatever, you can go around the stands throwing packages. And inside those packages are goodies like shirts, Express merchandise. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that's, take
actual
it to the bank.
mail?
Yes. Yes.
If FedEx knows you're at the game, they will actually deliver.
Yeah.
I love it. Package Man.
Package Man. Okay, in the Apollos, it's going to be Appy, the Apollo Space Capsule.
Appy?
Appy.
Okay. I like it. I like taking it back to the space element.
Totally, man.
Yep.
And, our beloved but left out Hot Shots is next. It's going to be Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen from, of course, Hot Shots, the movie. All right. Appropriate.
The Stallions. This one, I put a lot of thought in this one.
Okay.
And I'm actually happy with the results.
Okay. All right.
So the Stallions is Rufus the Unicorn.
Rufus the Unicorn. Bringing in the Bill and Ted element.
Yes.
So shout out to our Wild Stallions podcast guys.
Excellent.
The mascot is going to be Rufus.
Yes.
The Unicorn. I like it.
Up next is the Legends. And this may be a little cerebral.
Okay.
But if you think about it, it totally fits, man.
Okay.
So for the Legends, it's Leggy the Accounting Book.
Yes. I like it. Leggy the Accounting Book. Oh, that's adorable.
It is, man. I'm telling you, he's going to have a lot of fans.
Leggy.
Second to last.
He's just keeping track of stats in there.
He is. He's like, who's in the red, who's in the black. Hey, you owe me some points, sir.
Those spot bonuses?
Totally.
Yeah. All right.
It'll be great for the app and everything.
Yeah, sure.
And second to last is the Commanders. It's going to be Kami the Commander.
Kami the Commander.
Yes.
I like portraying the Commanders as
guys.
Yeah, red coat commie bastards.
Totally.
Yeah.
Red-bellied commie bastards.
I like it.
And last but not least, and of course, our hometown favorite, the Fleet. It's going to be Admiral Gridiron.
Admiral Gridiron.
Take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. And I think we did establish that he's got a slightly higher rank than just Admiral last week.
Oh, totally. He outranks all other admirals in existence.
Yeah. He's going to have chevrons for days. You think there's a lot of chevrons on the Fleet uniforms.
Oh, and that helmet.
No, just wait till you see Admiral Gridiron.
You're going to have to salute with both hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my mascot names.
Yeah, I like them, man. Good job.
I think these are winners.
Yep. Bang up work.
Thank you.
The Fleet released some pictures of a dressed up locker room this week, Smith.
Oh.
This was pointed out by our listener, Joey Quinonez, who I miss. I think I butcher his name every single week.
Every single time you have.
He asked us, is there any chance that they will be flipping anything else at the old Murph, perhaps like the high school video board?
It is awful.
Okay, so if you listen, we have a lot of listeners all around that are not maybe necessarily San Diego based, but the scoreboard at SDCCU Stadium has got to be the worst.
It's embarrassing.
Professional sports ever. We do happen to know that it's not going to be upgraded.
No, and I know it makes sense why.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I get it.
So the queue's coming down in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
To make way for SDSU West. That's what passed in the thing. So they're going to be building a smaller stadium for SDSU football, and now also the Fleet will be playing there. They're going to be building it in tandem, side by side with the queue, and then they're going to tear down the queue.
A lot of memories, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to miss it.
I know, me too. But apparently this option has the ability to expand to an NFL-sized stadium.
I like how they're planning ahead.
If team were to come here and merit that type of application.
You know what? And don't get me wrong. I would be ecstatic if the NFL came back to San Diego.
Yep.
But I would still be a Fleet fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just because an NFL team would come back to San Diego does not mean I would stop everything to do with the AAF.
No. And I'm happy just having the Fleet here right now. This has been an interesting thing that's happened to me. Now, the only reason why I watched football this weekend was because of our contest.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I hadn't watched since we've been doing this Fleet podcast. My watching of NFL football has dropped dramatically.
Same here. I think the only game that I watched this season was the opening game of the season.
Yeah. And I've been just fully engrossed and excited about this new league, and I'm all about it, man. I don't know what to. So I don't see that changing, even if an NFL team did come back.
Yep.
The only thing that I could see potentially changing citywide, and that I have maintained this is that, and this is why I love where all the AAF teams went, is I think there is an element of fatigue that will grow throughout the year, especially if you're a season ticket holder to an NFL team.
Totally.
You're out there tailgating every single week. You get to the end of the season, you're like, okay, I could actually use a break.
Right.
Which is why I think the XFL strategy is terrible by going to all NFL teams in the spring. So I think there could be an element of that fatigue if San Diego were to get an NFL team again. It would probably hurt the overall attendance of the Fleet, but I don't think it would change my fandom at all.
Oh, for sure. I'm in the same boat.
No
pun intended.
Fleet fan for life. For life. Go Boats.
Boats.
Go Boats. Go Boats. Hashtag. All right. Any more Facebook questions that we should get to?
Actually, we could get to some of them, but we never got answers for them. We reached out to our resources, and unfortunately, as of the recording of this podcast, we have not heard back.
We almost got GM Dave Buller on this episode. It was a 50-50 leading into tonight's episode. Didn't quite pull it off, and I think that would have answered a lot of the questions that are in here. A lot of these questions are about why is there so many transactions going on? What's the deal with the transactions? How are they? He would have
been the man to answer that.
One big question I have is how in the world does trading work?
Yeah,
in the AAF. That's something I haven't seen talked about at all. We're dying to get Dave on the show. We're trying to get Dave on the show. He said that he will come on the show. We'll see if it happens. Maybe next week.
He's a wily one.
Maybe next week.
But they are pretty busy. I mean, they're wrapping up for the season, so I get it.
Yeah. No, it's busy. Yeah. They don't have time for a little podcast like ourselves.
Bringing them out, putting butts in seats podcast.
And Smith.
Yeah.
I actually just called you Smith.
Whoa. You must be tired.
I am tired. I'm tired.
Tired, Smithy.
We've reached the end of our show, and you know what that means.
I do. But do you?
I do. It means we've got some sweet outro music
beating down the somethings.
Sweet outro music.
But you know what?
Yes, sir.
You know what that means? You need to talk about something.
Do I? Do I really?
You do.
Are you pointing to your face, Smith?
I'm pointing to this no space on my face.
Smith, your face doesn't have an ounce of space.
It do not.
Because you've got yourself a beard, sir, do you not?
Oh, I do.
Man, you must be using thebeardclub.com.
I am. I can even spell it.
Don't. People can figure it out. Those are regular words.
Oh, yeah.
Head on over to thebeardclub.com. Get the best in beard care products. Put them on your face. Watch your beard grow beautifully big. You will be the talk of the town.
Hey, big beard guy. Everybody's talking about you.
Just like Alex Cross.
Oh, boy.
He's got that beard. Everyone's talking about him.
I like it.
Thank you so much for listening.
We should interview his beard.
We should. Just the beard, though.
Just the beard.
Thank you for listening to the Shipyard Podcast. We, of course, are the Boys at the Yard. We are brought to you by thebeardclub.com. Our milkshakes are better than the Commanders. Spiffy.
You damn right they are.
That was exciting. That was excitable.
Yes. Now go.
Now
go get some beard stuff.
The grooves. Talking about the grooves of that exit song.
Yeah. I think I got stuck in one.
That was crazy. Should we listen to that and see if we want to keep it or not?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do it.
Hold on, listeners. We're gonna listen to this.
We're gonna listen back.
So and then just give us a minute.
Okay. Yep. Satisfied with that.
That's good.
We're done podcasting.
All right. See you guys next week.
End of show.
Goodbye.
And now for a special rejected intro song from earlier. And we're podcasting.
Like it or not, we're going to do this.
Yeah, we are doing it. That means it's time for the intro music.
Ooh,
Feeling it.
I like it.
Feeling it deep down in my loins.
Hits me right in that spot.
Well, we're talking about the fleet. And we're grunting like some creeps.
I just changed those sheets.
Oh, Smithy's taking it too far.
Oh, shit.
Maybe a little bit too far, Smithy.
Oh, boy. My bad. I just, I had a lot of free time on my hand earlier this afternoon.
Free time on your hand?
Oh, I mean hands.
Gross. Smithy.
It's not what you think.
Bad Smithy. Bad Smithy.
Oh.
Oh, man.